The hosts and guests on Everything's Messy podcast are not licensed healthcare professionals. The discussions in our episodes are not personalized medical advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare provider for medical guidance. Never delay seeking professional medical advice or emergency assistance because of our podcast. We encourage consulting with a healthcare professional before making any significant health changes. By listening to our podcast, you agree to the disclaimer. Thank you for listening to Everything's Messy podcast. So what would you tell a new mom or even any mom on any part of their journey? What would be a few things that you would say now maybe they've just realized it's okay that I take time for me? What would you say would be the first couple of things they need to do right away?
I think it's all about making a decision. It's all about deciding on what motherhood should look like for you.
I love that. Hey, welcome to Everything's Messy podcast, where we celebrate the beautiful but messy life experiences that most, if not all, people go through. Get ready to embark on an exciting journey through the raw and unfiltered stories of everyday people. Here, we dive into messy realities of life, from making messy mistakes to triumphs and everything in between. Are you sensing a theme? That's right, it's messy. But this just isn't about the mess. It's about finding strength and resilience in the midst of it all. We'll explore how health, fitness, and wellness play a crucial role in navigating life's twists and very messy turns. And we'll challenge conventional systems, because sometimes the most unconventional paths lead to the greatest discoveries. Join us as we embrace the messy, beautiful, and endlessly fascinating stories. Each episode is a testament to the power of our messy journeys and the beauty that emerges from the mess. So grab your favorite beverage, coffee, sparkling water, whatever it may be, and prepare to be inspired. Are you ready? Let's get messy. All right. Hey, messy people. Welcome to Everything's Messy podcast. I am your messy host, Sarah Wilson. I am sitting down and chatting today with Tessa Watson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. So I really appreciate it.
And you're coming to us all the way from the UK. Is that right?
Yes, I live in the UK, London.
Yes, that's wonderful. Okay. So you're my first from London. I've done Australia and Canada. So now I get to put a little pin in the UK. So I'm excited about that. I love talking to people all over. I love different stories and different backgrounds. And I just think it's really neat to finally get to do the UK. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
And I'm French. So you're speaking to a French.
Okay. So I thought it was French accent, but you're living in the UK.
Exactly.
Okay. And so how long have you been there?
13 years now.
Okay. Do you miss France?
Not really.
Not really.
but because it's very, very, very close, I get to go to Paris,
of course,
every 2 months or so. I'm quite often there. So
that's good. That's good. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about balance and motherhood and all that kind of stuff. And those of you who listen to our show, you know we love our messy stories and sitting with our mess. So, Tessia, why don't you jump into your messy story?
Yes, definitely. So for me, it happened when I just became a mother. So that's where everything was really messy, like really messy. I was not sure of what I was doing. Even
none of us are. I don't know how old your kids are, but mine, I now have a 19-year-old and 2 others in middle school, and I still don't know what I'm doing.
Yes, you just have to kind of learn, on the go. And it's just, for me, it was very a messy place because after a couple of years of having them, that was my decision to be a stay-at-home mom. And I absolutely loved it. It was my personal choice. And I was happy with that choice. But it was all about them 24/7.
Definitely resonates with me for sure. Yes.
And so you
lose yourself.
Completely. And after a couple of, I think what happened is after maybe the first or the second year, I started to hear that voice within telling me, Tess, there's something not going right here,
Like, hello, I'm over here. Look at me.
Yes, there's something wrong. You just, don't live anymore for you. And you kind of reply, it's normal. I became a mother and I need to be there for them, and they are my priority and everything. It was very, very difficult, this, kind of inner dialogue, and you just don't know. But the voice was there almost, every day on a regular basis, at least.
Getting louder and louder, I'm sure, right? It was like, notice me. Yes, yes.
So at some point, you listen. It's not anymore hearing, and you really listen to your heart and to what this inner voice is telling you. And I was like, okay, so if there is another way, what is the way?
Show me.
Exactly. So you start asking questions, which I didn't before, right? And when you start asking questions, answers,
they come.
Exactly.
Sometimes we don't like the answers, but they come, and nevertheless.
They come. And it's exactly what happened. I was, taking care of them, and I was not doing anything for myself. Everybody can, probably resonate with that, because it's just suddenly you're not anymore who you were before.
Completely
and you become, a mother, which is a new role, a new conception of yourself, which is great. But what about the other roles? I'm not just a mother, I'm a daughter as well. I'm a friend. I have hobbies. I have dreams.
Sure.
What about all of that? You know what I did? I said goodbye. That's what I did.
Goodbye to
all of this for a couple of, years.
Oh, yeah.
I said goodbye until that voice. And then I started to ask questions, as just said. And so the answer was, what would you like to do? And I was like, oh my God, I would love to go back to workout. Just this simple thing, exercise.
Sure.
Do something
and back up a little bit. I think what resonates with me is just the ability to remember to ask that question of, what do you want? Like, we completely forget as moms to even ask ourselves, what do we want? What do we want to, have or do? So I think just getting to that point, that's amazing. Did you ever struggle with the mom guilt when you started to answer those questions?
Of course.
Yeah.
Because of the program, because of the conditioning, the society have conditioned us this way. So naturally, we think that way. We think that it's not, a question to ask yourself. You just have to be, present for your children. They have to come first, and all of that. But the reality is that if you're not taking care of yourself, and if you don't, take time for yourself, then you not have the energy. You don't have the patience anymore. You're not calm. You're not,
we become the crazy moms.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why I wrote this book called Rejuvenated Moms Make Happy Kids, by just, caring for yourself and, do the things you enjoy to do or love. You will become the optimal, mother, parent.
I love
to
that.
Raise happy, successful, thriving. They learn through imitation. They learn through what they see, they experience, with you. So if they see a mother that, care for herself, that, do a lot of things that she enjoys, but she's there for them. She's present. And when she's attentive, she's 100 there, she's happy and, relaxed and rested, all of that. They will do that even for themselves when they will, when they grow up.
And I love that. And I think I read you're a mom of 2 boys?
Yes.
Right. So to me, and I think this is good for boys to have the example that they're seeing a woman, that it's okay that they do take time for themselves, that they're not just there to wait on you or be there for you. But I think also I have 2 daughters along with a son, and I think it's a good example for the daughters to see the moms taking care of themselves, because then they know to grow up and take care of themselves as far as, and not go down the roads that we went down, right?
Exactly. That's why you think about, future generations, and you just don't want, people to have to go the hard way. There is a better way, a more, enjoyable way, to go through motherhood. And the more we talk about this, the more obviously people will be aware of it.
Yeah, and I love it. And so as you were sitting down to write the book, is it like a flood just coming out of like all these things you want to say to help other moms? Or was it like, distraction with a kid here or distraction over here, or like how were you able to just get it out?
Yes, because I was making sure that at the time they were a bit older now, so they were going to school. So I was taking, that time when they were not around to do that. And the intention was to share what would be beneficial, for mothers. So I tried to figure out, in my journey and experience, what could be, something that they can, learn from it or think about it. So it was very lovely experience, to go through. And I'm just really proud, to be in that position where I can just help, someone else.
And I love that about women in general. We truly do want to help each other. We truly do want to lift each other up. We really do. But a lot of times the answer that we're searching for, or the community or the tribe that we're trying to find our way in, it may be a little bit harder to find. And so we sit alone a lot and we try and work through these things. But knowing that you have like your book out there, did you enjoy the book writing process in and of itself?
Oh, yes, because it was intuitive as well. I really felt compelled to write Rejuvenated Moms Make Happy Kids. And when it's like that, it's because there is a demand. There's someone out there,
100%.
Right here, yeah, asking for that. So I was certain that when I was, sitting on the chair, and I was like, this is for an excellent reason.
Absolutely.
So you do your best.
Absolutely. So what would you say has been the most significant change in yourself since the book has come out?
I'm stepping more into who I'm truly are, completely. Like everything that is in the book, some days I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing exactly what is in the book.
You're like, hello, I need to read my own book.
That's strange. Like in terms of rejuvenation practices, let's say meditation, I'm doing it every day. I was doing that every day, but I think I'm just doing it more. I'm growing into that. So at the time I was writing the book, it's an example. I was meditating just 5 minutes a day. But today, it's at least 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening.
Such progress.
Yes, the difference.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. And I can see that little thing that I suggest, I'm now naturally, applying them as well.
It's a part of you.
Yes.
That's
deeply, it's great. Once you decide that, okay, let's say you want to be a stay-at-home mother like me, how does it look like during the week? Do I stay with the kids all day long? Do I, would love to have some time for myself to do, I don't know. It depends of the the activity that you enjoy.
And let's go with fitness, right? Because that's really big on this podcast.
So if you want to go for yoga, let's say, because it's something that you used to do or you would love to try, let's say, you decide. You know what? I'm happy to have the baby, or now that I have the baby, I want every Monday or every Tuesday 2 hours for me to do a yoga class or, something like that. And because you take the decision, you will start to attract to you solution on how you can manifest that. So you don't know at first how this can happen because you don't have anyone to help out, let's say. So it's not about knowing the how. It's all about taking the decision that's what you want.
Wow.
Once you take the decision, you will start to attract yoga to you. So you will bump on a friend or someone you know, I've just started that class. And you will say, oh my God, I would love. And because you would love, this feeling, this vibration within you will start to attract solution for you to have the baby take care of during that time. A friend suddenly will say that she can help out, or you would like to, or a friend will talk about her beautiful nanny that, she's available, whatever it is. Or suddenly a cousin will move to town for whatever reason.
Sure.
Something will happen.
Something will happen. And even if it's just as small, I think, is finding a YouTube video while the baby's napping to, then make that a priority.
Completely. The solution will happen. So if it's an online class that will perfectly work for you, it will happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that.
But I think it starts with a decision.
I love that. Starts with the decision. And what do you say to, and I'm not, this isn't meant to be controversial, but I have experienced on the other end when I sort of started down this journey of self-care and wellness, don't you feel selfish? Don't you feel that you're taking away time that you could be spending with your kids? Why are you doing this when maybe you should be home with your kids? What do you say? How do you combat that when somebody's just fresh on this journey? And it'd be so, that mom guilt I talk about is just a beast. It comes at us and we can feel guilty about any little thing. But what would you, have them ready to respond with? Because it is okay. And it is important for us to have that self-care.
No, I agree. I think the example that, straight away comes to my mind is when, we are in a plane and they suggest you when, in case of trouble, to put the oxygen mask.
That's true.
First, and then to your child.
Yes.
It means something.
Absolutely.
If you
I love that.
can't breathe, how are you going to ensure
you're not? It's not going to happen.
That your child is breathing.
Right. That's so great.
It starts with you.
And it's okay. It's okay.
And it's okay.
Yeah. I love that. That's so great. Because it's hard. We have all these, I try to block out the negative voices, but sometimes, they get into us, they get there. And I want to help women to see, especially who are just starting out on this journey, that, don't let the naysayers block you from making the decision to even start something. Because we're so, I don't want to be labeled a bad mom. I don't want to be, we're so easy to go down that road. I just want to give them a hug and be like, you can do this. It's okay.
But sometimes I think we don't realize that when we don't care for ourselves and we just, do everything for them, we just sometimes so exhausted, and we know what it happens when we lose it. When context scenarios, happen, you're not responsive anymore. You react,
So true.
And you need to think about that. This is more, creating an environment that is not really enjoyable. So this guilt about being a bad mom and everything, just think this way. Not taking care of yourself will make you more prone to, lose it and to be in a less, positive environment with your children.
Right. And wouldn't you say, in your experience, that when you started to take that time for yourself and, maybe they were a little older and maybe they weren't home, but even if the child is still home, wouldn't you say that little independence that they might get having to go do an activity by themselves, or maybe they're older and they're going to go to little Johnny's house and give you that break, that's how they come into their own. So I feel like that also helps them grow, because they might have to figure out a problem mom's not there to run to and have mom fix it all the time, right? They start to develop and learn these things as well. And I think that's really important.
I agree with you. It's very, very important. And I couple of years, I created a little, nursery, so a child.
Yeah, tell us about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So when the mothers, they come in and they don't know yet if they want to sign up, but they see the children happy, having fun, laughing and everything. They just realize parents are not there and they are having fun. So how can you be guilty of having a toddler, a baby or toddler, smiling, learning, playing, having fun? It's impossible.
Yeah.
The child is happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is not faking it,
Well, and I would say, and of course, this is as they get older. And like I said, I have 2 in middle school, but I would say sometimes they need the break from me just as much as I need the break from them.
Yes. And I agree. And when I remember when I needed that break and they went to a childcare setting, I can't replace another 2 years old, I mean, I can't replace their peers. So what they've going to, learn through interactions and, being with them,
Sure.
I can't provide that.
Sure.
So
yeah. And so this, was it like a nursery, a daycare? What did you open? Yes. And you talk about how it was, like bilingual. There were 2 different languages. How did that come to be?
Yes, it's, I told you that I'm French. So I thought that the idea behind the concept was to allow mothers to have some time for themselves while, their children are, in very good hands in a safe environment. But I was like, if we can, give a plus and expose them to another language, it's even, better. It's a good value to have. And so that's why, we decided to create it this way. And yeah, it was a great experience to obviously see little ones, learning so fast.
And did they pick up both languages fairly quickly?
Yeah.
Did they? Oh, wow.
Yes. It's very impressive.
Oh, wow.
But they can lose it very, very quickly as well.
I can see that too.
If there's no practice, yes. So that was something that, parents loved as well, because obviously in terms of cognitive skills, it gives you so much, value, and you're just developing, skills that you don't when you don't have 2 languages, because your brain has to do this kind of gymnastic, switching from one language to other. So it's just, getting a new skill.
Yeah.
And when you decide to learn new languages, it's just so easier because your brain is just so used
already wired to do.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Right. And so while you were opening up the nursery, were you also simultaneously writing the book? Was that going on at the same time?
True.
Wow. So you went from 0 to 100 miles an hour and just went down into it.
Yes, that's true.
And so are you coming out of that a little bit? Has there been more balance for you? Because I know you talk about striving to find balance between self-care and family and things like that. So are you coming out of that now, or are you still deep in the weeds?
No, I think it's my top priority now. It's to be really who I am on a regular basis. So I just, give a lot to me, and I love to be in the quiet as well.
Sure.
So it's something that I practice a lot.
Oh, I love that. That's so amazing. And just to kind of see it come full circle like that, right? You started it here and it just kind of went all the way. I just love that. That's so great. And so where can people say the name of the book again and where they can find it?
Yes. So the book is called Rejuvenated Moms Make Happy Kids, and they can find it on Amazon. So
okay. All right. And do you have a website or anything that you'd like to shout out so they can find you?
Yes. So they can find me at tessiawatson.com.
Okay. All right. Well, Tessia, this has been amazing. I'm so grateful that you came on the show. I think you have such a great perspective, one that definitely needs to be heard, and others need to hear it and know that it's okay. So I appreciate you so much coming on and talking about your experience and the book. And it has just been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I'm grateful as well. And I just want to thank you so much for, giving me the space and for what you do, because it just help, mothers to get awareness.
And we need that. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to Everything's Messy podcast. If you don't mind, if you'd head on over to wherever you listen to the podcast, like, subscribe, maybe leave me a review. I would really appreciate it. Also, make sure to check out my new website, www.everythingsmessy.com. Social medias where you can find me, Instagram at Everything's Messy Podcast. Same with Facebook. I'm on X at Everything's Mess. And if you'd like to reach out to me for email, I'm everythingsmessy@gmail.com. Once again, thank you so much for listening and keep it messy.